Friends, welcome back to the Renewed Homestead. Ben and Denise here. What do you do on a wet, rainy day? Plant your garden, right?
Well, it's a little early, but
It is the end of January, but it's wet. It's been wet. Snow, rain. Yesterday was beautiful. Sunny,
it was.
little breeze. Things look like they're going to dry out a little bit. It's raining again.
Yeah, normally we start seeds in a different location, but because it's raining, we're in the porch.
Yep.
And it probably seems a little early to y'all to start seeds, but we are starting pepper plants. We are starting huckleberry, echinacea, because it takes a while to get going, the purpea, which is the, excuse me, the purple echinacea, which has the most medicine. And then we are going to winter sow some strawberries. So we just thought we'd take you along and show you what we're using. Now, the reason I'm starting peppers now, I have been having all kinds of problems.
Going to ask you.
With peppers. So I'm going to start them a little bit early so that I can, if there's any kinds of problems, I have time to start over. I love bell peppers.
I was going to say, what's the big deal? Just peppers.
I love bell peppers.
They're her favorite.
They're my favorite.
Yeah.
And between the deer the season before, and then last year we had all kinds of problems with the weather. As y'all know, June was really cold, and then we had the smoke from the wildfires.
And September was dry.
September was August and September.
Yeah.
We were in a drought. So it's just kind of been this one thing after another with the peppers. And I've been trying to grow the California wonder peppers. And apparently a lot of people, not just me, have issues with them. So we are trying different kinds. I'm doing a coral bell pepper from My Gardener. And then we're doing a sweet red pepper. This is from So True Seed. And then when we were at Joel Salad Tins, we actually bought this Purple Beauty from Seeds for Generations. So we're going to try a few different ones and see how they do.
Yeah. Now, we do get the question, well, where's a good place to get our seeds? We have loved In My Gardener for a long time. If you go back, you can watch Luke as a very young kid doing his garden, just some really cute videos.
He's still a kid.
You know, he is still a kid, but he now has a kid, I tell you. But if you haven't checked out In My Gardener, check him out. The prices are amazing. I mean, what, $2 a pack? And if you order like over $10, it's free shipping or something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
And the seeds germinate.
Yeah, great company.
Great seeds.
Great company. Anyway, we like In My Gardener, Michigan Gardener, In My Gardener.
Yes, and we have our own seeds that we do propagate, but unfortunately with the pepper seeds, I was having issues with disease last year with the California Wonder pepper, so we didn't really have any to save.
Well, right at the tail end, we did have a few peppers and we saved those seeds, but we're leery if they're going to do anything anyway. But
yes.
So
what do we have in the mix?
Well, it looks like dirt.
A little more than dirt.
Oh man, I should have brought out a jar. Oh, I got a jar of dirt.
I got a jar of dirt. I got a jar of dirt.
I know you guys are going to get tired of that, but
They are, because I've put it in like
I know,
how many
but
videos?
I loved Pirates of the Caribbean. We won't
Not
even go into that.
anymore.
Not anymore. But Johnny Depp's done, so that's the end of the adventures. But anyway.
But do you want to take it up and show them the dirt?
Yeah. I'll have to show you the dirt. Because it's not just any old dirt.
Woo, careful.
That's a long step. Now you're like, yeah, it's dirt. And the white stuff, that's not styrofoam. What is the white stuff?
Well, first, the bulk of this is forest mulch. Now, there is going to be, as y'all know, with that road that's going into the top, a lot of the forest mulch is going to be displaced. So we are going to utilize that not only in our gardens, but also for our seed starting mix.
Because originally when we said we were using forest mulch, we kind of got beat up in the comments. How could you? That forest mulch needs to stay there. Those trees need that. Absolutely right. This is going to be displaced. Those trees will not be there anymore, so we're going to take advantage of it.
Well, and not to mention a little bit of forest mulch isn't going to hurt the woods.
No.
But y'all know we're permaculturists. We try to make sure we're in harmony with nature.
Yep.
So the forest mulch has a lot of amazing nutrients. So that's why we use this as a seed starting mix, and we also put it in our garden. But there's 2 ingredients that we've added to it.
The styrofoam looking stuff is
Perlite,
which is a volcanic rock.
Very
lightweight. That is the stuff that'll float on the top. And then
vermiculite, which I believe is also from volcanoes.
Yep. This absorbs, this sheds.
Well, yeah, so essentially, the forest mulch is phenomenal soil. It's got a lot of life in it, but it does compact. So the perlite is going to help the compaction of the soil. It's going to help aerate it. It's also going to help it drain water. The vermiculite is going to kind of do the exact opposite. It's going to actually hold on to that water. So we've kind of got the best of both worlds. Now we've got 20% perlite in our mix and 15% vermiculite. And M.I. Gardner has actually a really great video on these ratios and why you want these ratios in your seed starting mix. So I'll put a link to his video in the description. But every year we use our own forest mulch, and then we add vermiculite and perlite to it.
Yeah. Just part of being self-sufficient. We don't want to have to go to the store every year.
Yeah, even though, I mean, we had to buy perlite and vermiculite, and
Right.
if things happen, we'll figure it out, right? Yeah. But as of right now, this will last us a while. We got the bulk bags.
Well, and I guess in fairness, if we couldn't get the vermiculite, we could use a little more sand out of the creek. That would help keep the drainage going. You just have to be careful, because if all this water drains out, it also pulls all the nutrients out, and then you're back to fertilizing your seeds and all that.
Yeah, but we don't want to use, and we've used the creek before,
have.
the creek sand before, and it works great. It's a little heavy sometimes, but we obviously don't want to use that too often if we don't have to.
Yep.
Yeah, but really easy. We're just going to use, now we've washed these to make sure there's no disease, no kinds of issues. Basically fill them up. We'll put our seeds in here, and then we'll get them on a heating mat and under the grow lights.
Yeah, I'll show you that. We cleaned up those shelves so we could get more mats and more lights up this year.
And the reason I like these, I know a lot of people use the smaller ones. I like these because it allows the roots to go a little bit deeper in, so I don't have to transplant it quite as quickly. Because a lot of times you start them in the really small packs, which is great. It helps with water and everything. But then once those seeds come up, you have to transplant them immediately. So this just helps me save a step.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and it's hard on the plants too, because they start getting really lanky.
Yeah.
And so now they've got all this growth they've got to support. Now you've disturbed the roots, putting them in a bigger pot. So we're just skipping that step.
Yes.
And
Yep. And you know what I also forgot?
what's that?
The labels.
The labels.
Yep.
Would you
I'll
like
be
me
right
to-
back.
Well, while she's gone, we'll have a chat. But enough about me. Let's talk about you. What do you think of me? All right. My best friend in Arizona, Mez, that was his saying. I stole it from him. But, yeah, well. All right. I got nothing else for you.
What are you chatting about?
Nothing.
Well, you know, I'm going to see it in the video. I edit them.
Yes, she does edit me, and to that point, actually, while you're setting up there, some of you might have got a notification about a week ago that we were doing a live broadcast. Our apologies. I don't know how that popped up, and we weren't there to do a live broadcast. We are going to do one, though. We are going to do one very soon. We've been promising you that for, a year now or so. Anyway, we will be doing a live broadcast. Details on that to come, but yeah, Denise has just been nervous about doing a live broadcast because when we record, she can edit what I say.
How dare you!
It's really mainly the lighting, but
Oh, it's the lighting. Okay, she's just worried. I mean, I wouldn't say anything nasty. There's just certain things that come to mind that could possibly get our channel demonetized because they're doing a lot of that lately. So, on that note, go check and make sure you're still subscribed.
right.
Yeah, there's a lot of people are getting unsubscribed too. Coral Bell.
I
Sounds
know.
like the name of a steamboat.
It does, actually. But I'm excited to try these.
Yeah.
So I just think we're going to stop with the California Wonder Peppers because I've never had any luck, and apparently a lot of other people have had issues with them. So maybe they grow really well in like California, but maybe it's just too humid here. You know, and that's a tip or a trick, especially when you move to a new area. You might try to grow all these things that you've grown in the past, right? We moved from the desert and we came here. Now, tomatoes, there are different tomato varieties that do better in, more arid climates like Phoenix and more humid climates here. We love the mortgage lifter. It grows phenomenal here, so we grow it every year. Not so much in Arizona. So talk to the locals in your area and find out what varieties work for you, because what might work, where you were from might not work here.
Well,
and it'll just help save you a lot of aggravation.
not only that, but you might have neighbors willing to share some seeds that they've been planting for generations, as they did with us.
Yeah, we've gotten a lot of great seeds.
But we also, that's another reason we like the heirloom seeds, because we do save our seeds every year, and each year it becomes more acclimated to your zone. So the assumption is the seeds will do better each progressive year, but you just never know.
And we'll get the rest of these in, and then we'll show you how we're going to winter sow. Now these are Yellow Wonder strawberries. I had actually never heard of them, and then I was doing a very dangerous thing and browsing on my gardener seed site, which is extremely dangerous. Yep. And I came across this, and it actually says it produces small fruits no bigger than a thimble, but a large amount of them. This gourmet fruit is often found in restaurants because of its excellent aroma and flavor. So it's a cross between like pineapple, strawberry, and passion fruit.
Flavor-wise.
Flavor-wise. So it sounds amazing. So we are going to try them, and in a moment, we'll show you how we're going to winter sow. We're going to try a couple of different methods and see which one actually works better.
Because we have tried to grow strawberry seeds before, some that we got from Monticello, Thomas Jefferson's place. None of them germinated, and we think we know why, but we'll get into that later.
Yes.
But yeah, her shopping on the seed sites. It is kind of funny because
you too, though.
Some, not as much as I used to. Back in Arizona, when I was still completely dreamsteading, there, sitting there at my desk in the city, I'd order seeds, I'd order some more seeds, and these packages would come in, and he'd be like, "Think we have enough seeds yet?" I'm like, "Never." And now, who's guilty?
Okay, but I do buy varieties that we can plant here.
Well, I grew varieties that sounded good.
Guess we all do that, don't we?
They say grow what you'll eat.
And just a tip real quick on echinacea. So for years I kept hearing that echinacea was great for you, right? When you're getting sick or an illness, it's good for your immune system. I would take echinacea, nothing happened. So I just assumed it didn't work. Well, through my herbalist program, through the Homegrown Herbalist, and if y'all need herbs, we do have an affiliate with Homegrown Herbalist. So if you buy from them, we do get a slight kickback, and the herbs are great. Very, very reputable organization. But I realized that echinacea is an extremely gentle flower herb medicine.
Laxative.
No, gentle. It needs something to pep it up. So like a peppermint or a spearmint's going to come in and it's going to make the echinacea work. If you just take echinacea on its own, it's too gentle to do anything. So it's just going to sit there and be like, hi.
It passes through the system. It needs an activator.
It needs an activator. Peppermint's one. Peppermint's going to kick it into gear, and yes. Yeah. So just if you've taken echinacea and it hasn't worked, that's why.
I didn't know. And I'm sure I've taken echinacea because you have me take all kinds of good stuff.
Well, I have you take it with spearmint or peppermint or.
Well, now, because now you know.
Now I know, but before I wouldn't have had you take it. That's our.
Why are you guys girls up here?
Okay, we have two of our Americanas who are supposed to be in the pasture.
Way down there. Girls.
Well, I'll go back home. At least they're up here by us. They're safe.
That's true. They're our first Americanas. Let's see how we like them. They lay a blue egg, yeah.
Which is what I wanted. Yeah, so we've got them down. They're still a little young to go in with the general population, so they're in a tractor, warm tractor. They're actually doing really well, but they're getting close.
I think we're going to move them, and we'll swap the turkeys down to where they are, because the turkeys are getting mean.
The girls are still okay.
Actually, it's good that they're up here. There's a lot of stuff for them to eat where the sheep were.
The girls are fine. It's the tom.
Oh, yeah.
That's the issue.
Yeah. We've mentioned before, I think we're getting out of the turkey business. There you go. There we go.
I'm worried about her getting up under her feet.
It'll be all right.
All right, so why am I starting these so early? Well, they need about 3 to 4 weeks to cold stratify, and then you're supposed to start them about 8 to 10 weeks before your last frost date, which I don't know why we just don't say spring frost and fall frost, but That's a whole discussion he and I are having.
It's confusing because you say your last frost date. Well, you think, okay, well, the last frost of the winter, but it's the next year.
That's what it throws me off every time. He says it makes sense to him. It throws me off. So I just say spring frost, fall
It's the last
frost.
frost of the winter or the first frost of the winter. So you got to count down 8 weeks before your first frost at the end of the summer.
I get that. I just think it can be confusing.
It is confusing.
So we need several weeks, obviously, for these to cold stratify. So we're going to show you a couple of different ways to cold stratify. It's cold here, so we're going to actually do this outside. Now, what you want to do is your seed starting mix, just like we have here. You're going to want to make sure
Where are you putting it in?
it's damp. I said our seed starting mix.
I know. Where are you putting it in, though?
Well, that's what I was going to get into.
Oh.
Yeah. So we want to make sure the soil is damp. We're going to put some of our seeds in. And this we have, what, about 20 seeds in here? Ooh, wow.
They are tiny.
Okay, we're just going to scatter these in.
Well,
These
yeah.
are way too tiny to...
You should, I don't know if you could even see them. They literally are the tiny little seeds on the side of a strawberry if you're eating the berry itself.
That is teeny.
Yeah.
All right, and these are a surface sow. So we are just going to...
I'd put them in your hand and then scatter them. There you go. Because if they all dump out at once, you're not going to be able to tell.
Well, that's why I was moving it around. All right, so I'm just going to surface sow. This is damp.
Which in the past we have not surface sown.
We have not surface sown, that's correct. And we did not cold stratify.
Nope.
So that was our issue. So we have a milk jug. So what you want to do is cut about where the bottom of the handle is. Once you cut it, you put your seed starting mix on the bottom. Then you're going to put this back on and you're going to tape it so it stays shut. Keep the lid off because you want the moisture to be able to escape. And then we are going to just set this out in our garden and we will monitor it, make sure it's still moist. But
Not a plug, but this isn't actually a milk jug. This is a lemonade jug from
Chick-fil-A, which is ridiculously expensive, by the way.
Yeah, but it's so yummy.
It is the best lemonade.
Yes,
I'm trying to mimic Chick-fil-A lemonade, and I have not been able to do it yet.
Little hack for you: if you do love the Chick-fil-A lemonade, order a large, no ice. It's still cold, but if you ever order one and don't get no ice, don't ask for no ice. The cup's 3/4 full of ice, so you don't get near as much lemonade. I'd put another one up that way.
That's what I'm doing. I was waiting for you to get done talking.
Oh, okay.
Because of the noise
background
of the
noise.
tape,
Yeah.
yes.
You wouldn't believe the noises that microphones pick up. The editing time.
That's probably good, don't you?
Yeah, I suppose so, because doesn't need to be sealed as long as you don't grab it by the handle now. Because I know I will.
All right, so we're testing this, and we're going to show you another way to cold stratify here in a moment. But we're kind of doing a comparison. We've got the clear jug, which you can use.
Yeah, kind of a secondary test on this.
Yeah, and you just...
A comparison.
That microphone's going to...
Oh, yeah, sorry. Is this a secondary comparison, which is...
The clear to the opaque.
Yeah, see if it makes
You can
any
use
difference.
both, but we're just kind of curious.
Because they say milk jugs, and most milk jugs are opaque, and I'm like, well, wait, I've got a clear one, so we'll see if it makes any difference in the germination.
All right, you're going to want to put these in as sunny a location as you can in the winter, and then just make sure the soil stays moist. Like I said, keep the tops off so that the moisture can escape, and we'll see what happens. Let's go.
Now, tomorrow it's supposed to snow here. Should we throw something over these to keep the snow out?
Well, it needs to cold stratify, so
Let it be.
let it be.
Let her ride.
I would imagine if we're getting down to 0 degrees, we'd want to cover them, but we're not for the next few days. So,
Okay.
yep.
All right. So now where are we
All
going?
right. Now we're going to go in there and show you another way to cold stratify, which we actually have never done. So it's going to be interesting to see which one works better.
Yes, it will.
All right, so another way to cold stratify is actually using the fridge. And a lot of you have probably seen this method or even use this method. So we're gonna see, does the fridge work better or does the growing outside in the milk jugs work better? So we'll bring you along and show you.
I imagine that'll depend on the year though too. I mean, if we had a warm winter and spring, the fridge might work better, but I guess.
But we always freeze. We always,
That's
January,
true.
February are
Yeah.
always.
Yeah, they say around here that typically you wind up with a surprise freeze after Mother's Day.
Always.
Although our average last frost date is April 12th, right?
Supposedly.
Right, supposedly.
Supposedly.
But where we are, it says our growing season is 189 days. That's pretty good. Pretty good growing season.
All right, so what I'm doing, I'm looking on the calendar. I want to put the date on here for when I need to take them out. If they cold stratify for too long, then you could actually just kill the seed.
And mold.
And yeah, it will definitely cause issues. So you want to make sure everything I've read and researched is you know, take them out when they're supposed to. So 3 to 4 weeks. So let's see, I'm looking at
Should be February
like
20th.
11th. Yeah, about February, 3
11th?
weeks.
Oh,
3 to
okay,
4
yeah.
weeks. So
Well, aren't we the end of
hold on,
January
1,
now?
2, 3. Sorry, yeah, 18th. Sorry. So about 2/18.
And while you do that, I'm going to put Loki outside because he's whining. And I'm back.
All right, so a trick I learned from Emma Gardner is to wet the paper towel first. Of course, I should have filled it up first. So wet the paper towel first, and that way the seeds will actually stick better. And you want it nice and wet because you want that moisture in the seed. You just don't want it too wet that it'll start to mold.
Right.
So do you want to, since you're better with the small seed?
Okay.
We love strawberries, so I'm excited for these.
Now do these have runners? Are these going to act like a regular strawberry?
I don't know. I don't know.
Now, me personally, I kind of like this method better from the standpoint I can see where the seeds are in the potting soil. They may have all just plopped into one spot. I mean, Denise scattered them around, but you can't see exactly where they are. So now we're going to get this in the baggie, right?
Yep. You always want to make sure that it fits before you actually put them on the paper towel because you don't want to have to cut the paper towel after the seeds are on it.
Lose your seeds and make a mess.
You want to seal it up.
Do you want to trap air in there at all?
Make sure there's not too much water and the moisture should stay in because this is going to be sealed. And then we're going to stick it in the fridge.
Do you want to trap air in there or you want to make sure all the air is out?
I don't think it matters
Okay.
as long as it stays moist.
Okay.
So we'll put this in the fridge and then we're going to check on it every few weeks. There we go. We'll check on this we'll check on this every few days, but we're going to really check on it in a few weeks. And these should grow little tiny, little green stems.
Little strawberry plants.
Yeah, little strawberry plants. So let's hope it works. So have you used both methods of winter sowing and which one do you prefer? So this is new to us here. So we're going to see if we like the fridge method.
Okay.
We have frost here, so
Yeah.
you know we can sow outside, but
Right.
it's just an interesting experiment.
So this is our setup. It's in the someday library, but we got our heat mats, obviously our grow lights, and the nice thing is you can actually probably see down here, it's open so you can run zip ties or whatever to hold the lights up. It's our grow station.
Yeah, for now.
Get things growing early. Yes, Pastor Lon, this is one of the fig cuttings that you gave us. It's still growing in its pot. But
Yeah. The other one's outside. Well, it's dormant right now, but it was doing phenomenal.
oh yeah, that was huge. And then we still have our tree cuttings from the Texas boys down there. They're looks like they're getting ready to bud out. We'll keep an eye on those too. But
Yeah.
anyway, just a simple setup. This was Sam's Club special, but it really works really well if you get a spill or whatever. The water's going to drain down from one plant down to the next ones if you don't have solid trays.
Yeah, and eventually this, this is a temporary setup while we get the house done.
Right. But then we'll have this probably out in the shop because the heat mats, it can be out in a cooler location. Grow lights work well. They're just daisy chained right through. Turn them off in one switch and it's all off.
Yeah.
So, okay. All right. Well, hopefully this is a blessing to you. Maybe you learned something. Certainly.
We might learn something.
We learn something every day.
Yes,
That's
true.
a good part of being on a homestead. But anyway, so. All right. Well, I think that's about it. I can't think of anything else. I don't know if Denise is going to edit it, but we will be doing a live broadcast one of these days soon. Some of you got a notification that we were doing one, and
Yeah, you talked about that earlier.
I know, but you might cut that.
I wasn't going to.
Okay.
You act like I cut everything
I never
you say.
know what she's going to edit.
Well, sometimes I have to edit for
time's sake, yeah. And sometimes I just ramble on, and
like right now.
maybe. But I kind of have to think about it. It's like, was there anything else we needed to mention?
Nope.
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 All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Hope you are well. God bless. Go in peace and serve the Lord, and go adopt a pet. Right?
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Make it so.